Are you thinking of buying a condo in Toronto and not sure whether to go with pre-construction or resale? What's up, you guys? It's Josh Tavares, licensed realtor with eXp Realty Brokerage based in Toronto. In our channel, we talk about all things real estate investing, marketing, and personal branding. Remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and jiggle the notification bell to get updates on our newly uploaded content. Are you undecided on whether you should go with either pre-construction or resale in a condo in Toronto? After this video, you're going to learn about all the pros and cons associated with both. When it comes to purchasing a pre-construction property, whether you're a first-time home buyer or an investor, there are many benefits involved. The condo market is thriving in Toronto, and if you know where to look, you can get in at a pretty good price point. In Toronto, the average price point for a condo is within the $500,000 to $700,000 range, of course, depending on the number of bedrooms and bathrooms associated with the building, as well as the neighborhood that you're looking to get into. When purchasing a condo, something to keep in mind is, of course, you're going to pay a maintenance fee, which usually covers the landscaping, the cost of your concierge, and sometimes will cost, depending on the building, will also include your utilities. And with that as well, you're also going to have your building insurance associated with that. With buying a condo also in Toronto, you got to be mindful that there's going to be two land transfer taxes, your provincial as well as your Toronto land transfer tax. So remember, if you're looking to buy a condo in Toronto, make sure you have the funds appropriate, not only for your down payment and everything associated with your legal fees and whatnot, but also for your land transfer taxes as well. As an investor, getting into the market for your first investment property with condos is a great idea, as most of the condos are usually in high density areas that are in great location with many amenities and have a high value of offerings. So it's a great way to get into the market and essentially notice a high significant amount of appreciation, especially in the pre-construction range, where essentially you're buying a property that hasn't been built yet, and once it's built, you're going to see a significant amount of appreciation than when you first bought it from the builder. If you have the luxury of time and you're willing to wait, let's say you purchase a pre-construction property today and it's supposed to be built in 3 years, if you have the luxury of time on your side, you can afford to have that working in the background for you while you continue to stay and living in your current situation and have that appreciate over time for you. Now, of course, for some folks who need to move sooner than later, that's not so ideal, which of course the resale will work really well. But if you have the value of time on your hands, it's something you could definitely use. With pre-construction, you have the luxury of picking the finishes and of course picking the layout. Thing is, you have to be the first in line, because when these pre-construction properties come up, there is a massive lineup of investors looking to get into the market. So if there's a particular area you want to put your money into, or a specific unit with certain finishes, you might want to get there very early. But if you're able to get in there, it's a wonderful benefit that you have the ability to select the finishes and have technically your unit be custom made to you. Now, with some of the benefits of resale, you don't have to wait for a long time span for you to move into your property. Not everyone has the luxury to wait in 2 to 3 years, so it's good that you have the ability to purchase a property and within a couple of months, even weeks perhaps, move into the home that's right for you. Now with the resale, you're going to have financing, mortgage, and a down payment fully upfront, ready to go. Whereas with pre-construction, there's going to be a different payment structure where you can pay 5% now, 5% perhaps in 3 months, 5% in a year, and perhaps 5% on closing. It really depends on the developer and how flexible and the terms that they have. But of course, like I had said, with resale properties, you're going to have financing, down payment, everything ready to go up front, because you'll be able to close much sooner than pre-construction. Another benefit with resale is the fact that you're owning a physical asset that is already up and running. So it's a lot more liquid. So in the event that, let's say in a couple of years, you need to move out and upgrade to a townhouse or even a home, you have the ability to sell it much sooner, as it is a physical asset and it makes it easier for someone to purchase offhand. Whereas with a pre-construction property, you can still sell your unit that you're entitled to and be considered an assignment, but it may be a little more challenging, more paperwork, more legal obligations, but it is a lot more liquid when it comes to a resale condominium. Now, for investors, this is also really attractive in the sense that they can also either A, they can move in themselves, or B, they could also rent out the property to great tenants, begin to cash flow and have it all pay off their debts, where once again, when it's pre-construction, you don't have a physical property ready to go, so you won't be able to generate additional income, but you do have the appreciation on your side. Now, as I said a bit earlier about pre-construction, essentially pre-construction, there is usually a 20% down payment, like I said earlier, with different installments, where essentially with a resale property, like I said before, you're gonna have to have about 20% or higher upfront as a down payment and have the rest of the financing through usually the bank or some sort of lending institution as a whole. So with pre-construction, it's a little more flexible with financing, at least in the pre-construction phase, where with resale, like I said before, you're getting into physical asset where you're gonna have to get all the financing ready to go. With a pre-construction property, you're essentially, if you're looking to selling, you can sell the contract, which is called an assignment, to someone who is interested, but whoever decides to absorb that contract has to go with the terms of the developer. It is not a rule in which the original buyer and the new buyer create their own rules. They have to be open and accepting of what agreement that the developer has in play, because at the end of the day, these contracts are put in place to benefit the developer, and whoever's purchasing the units has to be open and understanding of that, so they're not misled and thought that they're getting something totally different. So it's totally important to understand the terms, legalities, and have a real estate lawyer who can best represent you so you're able to make the right transaction and purchase an assignment that best fits you. When absorbing a contract such as an assignment, you want to be mindful and understanding as to what you're going to receive when going about receiving that assignment. Everything from taxes, maintenance fees, legal fees, everything as a whole, even what utilities are taken on through maintenance and whatnot. You want to understand that so you have a proper understanding, so you're not misled, and you have the funds available at hand to suffice the lifestyle involved with living in that condominium unit once it's built. No matter what option you choose as an investor, you're going to receive a return on your money. However, of course, like I said before, if you're going to go with pre-construction, you're not going to receive any rental income, but you're going to have such a high amount of appreciation that as soon as a unit comes on market, you could sell it or even sell the assignment. Of course, it's more attractive to hold on to it until the unit is fully built. You'll get a higher appreciation, generating a higher income, which you can use to take those funds and invest into another property, continue to rinse and repeat, continue to flip around for the next little while, and continue to build your portfolio and generate a higher income. And with resale as well, you have the liquidity of that you can also, within a shorter time span, keep it for 1 or 2 years, flip it, go on to the next property, and so on and so forth, as the real estate market continues to improve rapidly in Toronto. But of course, you want to understand the taxes and the fees and the capital gains associated, as in the beginning of the condo phase in Toronto, especially in the early 2000s, there were many investors taking advantage of this because there weren't many tax implications for doing so. And there were many people who would buy one condo and then eventually would come to the point where they would have 10 condos and have, generated hundreds of thousands, if not, over $1 million, and be able to get through the tax system that way until, of course, the government was able to understand, wait a sec, there's a loophole here. And of course, they made it some taxes and capital gains along the way to make sure that everything is within a fair playing field. If you're someone looking to get into pre-construction and that's the best option for you, there's always an abundance of developments coming on board. So in the event that you miss something that you're very interested in, I would wait it out, because in a couple of weeks, even months, there'll be a property perhaps in the perfect area with the amenities, layouts and so on and so forth that fits your lifestyle. So just because you missed out maybe one project, I would wait for the next one. But remember, when it comes on board, you have to be ready and have everything ready to go, your ducks lined up, so you have the best opportunity of obtaining a unit that fits you best. With the pandemic at play, many people were leaving their condominiums looking for large homes in the suburbs with, of course, green space, office space, and just a better layout and more square footage, leaving many condo prices to drop significantly. But because the demand has stayed very strong and the inventory has become very low, condos are starting to see mini bids and increase in value compared to what they had lost last year. So if you're someone who is looking to sell your condominium, there's probably a good chance you'll be able to get a good return on your money now compared to selling last year, where you probably would have lost a significant amount. So something to be mindful of in the event that you're looking to sell. And if you're thinking, hey, I probably won't get much for my condo as I would have, a little while back, but things are starting to rebound, so keep mind of that. Also, with rates being very low on top of the demand and supply significant differences, I highly recommend for anyone looking to get into the market, especially a first-time homebuyer or an investor, to just get in, because prices are going up substantially. Even if it's not the most ideal unit in terms of the layout or whatnot, but you're able to live in there for at least a significant time, I would take the plunge, because there are many buyers being priced out and completely being devastated in the fact that they're not able to own, where had they tried maybe a year prior, they would have been able to get in, where now they're reaching their ceiling and they're seeing multiple offers. And it's a very different environment than what it was a couple of years ago. So I highly recommend, if it's something that seems okay with you, you can live in that layout, depending on the number of bedrooms and bathrooms and so on and so forth. Maybe the layout might not be the most ideal. I would take the plunge, stay in there for a little while, and then of course upgrade at a later time. Now, when getting into the condo market, something you want to ask yourself is the condo life right for you? Do understand that with condominiums, you're looking usually at smaller square footages, different layouts. You'll get a lot of amenities, but a lot of shared amenities that you're going to have to share with other residents, whether it's going to be a dog park, a playground, a workout gym, a basketball court. Something to be mindful of, that you're going to get less square footage, less living space, but usually it's going to be in high dense areas where it's conveniently located to shops and malls and groceries and so on and so forth, other amenities as well. So something to keep mindful of when looking to get into the condo market. I know based on how expensive prices have become, it's become very difficult for many people to get outside of the condo range and get into perhaps townhouses, semis, even detached. So of course, it's something that you may have to adjust your lifestyle depending on where you're currently living today. Now, with living in a condominium, of course, you're going to pay your maintenance fees, which a lot of landscaping is involved, as well as your concierge and some other services as well, alongside with rules and governance for those who live in the building, for everyone to follow the rules. So just some great things that do come with your maintenance fees, or essentially it comes with living in a condominium. Now, whether you're looking to get into pre-construction or resale, it all really depends. They're both great. Some better for other reasons than others. If you're an investor, they're both great. Of course, some of them are, like I said, resale is more liquid, pre-construction isn't. If you have the time and you're willing to wait it out a couple of years, right, and you're looking to live in the unit, pre-construction is a great idea, and you can choose the finishes, choose the layout, and many great benefits. But if you want something more liquid, or you're looking to move sooner than later, then of course, resale is probably the best for you, as you can move in within weeks and upfront. And also too, with resale, there are a lot more fees up front that you're gonna have to have, like your down payment, your legal fees, you'll need the rest of the financing up front. Where with pre-construction, as I said earlier, you can usually put about 20% down up until the property is completed, and then the additional funding through the lending institutions and legal fees and all that will come later on. So you have a little bit of time to save up for that and have appreciation work on your side. With resale, you have to have all your ducks lined up and everything ready to go right up front. So either way, there's no one is better than the other. It really all depends on your situation and what works best for you. Now, if you're an investor, remember, there's a high amount of demand of people wanting to come to Toronto. Toronto is kind of like the migration space, as well as Vancouver and all of Canada. So we've seen a significant amount of prices increase. So remember, you will get eventually return on your money, whether you can go with pre-construction or you're going to go with resale. At the end of the day, you'll be able to find some quality tenants that'll be able to help pay for your mortgage, or if you're looking to purchase an investment property and then flip the assignment later on to make some dough, that's great too. So just something to be mindful of if you're thinking that the demand will not continue, or if you're scared of there not being enough people wanting to get in and move into your unit. I hope this video was super helpful, insightful, and helps you with your next move. Remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and jiggle the notification bell to get updates on our newly uploaded content. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Take care.